Hello everyone, I'm Priyanka Kapadia, Fashion Director, Vogue India. Welcome to a panel discussion for the Natural Diamond Council and Vogue India's Diamond Festival. While diamonds are eternal, there are always a few standout trends and pieces that truly make their mark every season. With the Natural Diamond Council's trend report, we are able to take an in-depth look into the 5 key trends that are a major talking point right now. These are the pieces you need to add to your jewelry wardrobe today. Today, we talk about the coolest diamond trends to look forward to, what you should be investing in, and new ways to wear some of our favorite pieces from these trends. But first, let me introduce you to our amazing panelists for the day. We have with us Katerina Perez. Katerina is an award-winning jewelry influencer, journalist and consultant with 12 years of experience. With over 360,000 Instagram followers, Katerina is an exciting voice when it comes to jewelry. Katerina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Nonita Kalra is the editor-in-chief of Tata CliQ Luxury and is also one of the most celebrated fashion journalists in the country. Nonita, thank you for joining us today. We're so excited to have you as part of this panel.
Thank you.
From one-of-a-kind showstoppers to treasures that become instant heirlooms, jewelry is a major talking point right now. Let me dive right into the 5 natural diamond trends we cannot get enough of. The first trend up today is shoulder dusters. Ladies, this has to be one of my favorite go-to trends. Perhaps it's a response to life on Zoom. There are these beautiful all-diamond shoulder duster earrings from Jaipur Gems. They are classic, they touch the collarbone and just delicately graze the collarbone while you wear it. The earring truly has become the hero piece of the year and an essential in every jewelry wardrobe. Nonita, let me start with you. Is this a trend that you relate to? What are your thoughts?
You know, as we have this conversation and we're recording it in 3 different countries, actually, it sort of makes sense that shoulder dusters are going to be such a critical trend because we're framed here, right? And long shoulder duster earrings are what is going to make you Zoom ready. It's going to make you feel invincible. And as we're coming out of days of pandemic dressing where we really just wore track pants and nothing else, I think shoulder dusters also, at one point they were a great trend that were great just for Zoom, but I think shoulder dusters also now are a great way of showing optimism that we're ready to step out. And I think 2020 and 2021 have shown us one thing, that the human spirit never loses its resilience and hope. So at 2021, we are being told there's a third wave, but we want to wear our sparkling earrings and step out with confidence because we're always ready to face the world. Don't you think so, Katerina? We talked about this, when we were part of the Style Collective, putting together this trend report. I think we felt that shoulder duster earrings, statement earrings, were a really important part of, jewelry right now.
Exactly. You are talking about wonderful representation of statement earrings worn for Zoom calls at home. I am focusing on the red carpet because luckily they're coming back slowly. And what a great statement is the shoulder length earrings. They really allow you to express yourself, to be noticed on the red carpet and elsewhere, wherever you go. And I think it's a great way to showcase your strong personality because let's face it, shoulder grazer earrings are not really for everyday wear. So they're really the punchy and strong look.
Have you noticed that people are moving their hair out of their way, putting it up, cutting it short? Because I think earrings are now just so much part of, they're taking center stage so much that it's really fun to see jewelry becoming more of a hero than, say, beauty trends.
I think the beauty of long earrings also that, as you say, they frame your face, so they slim down your face, which is also important after the lockdown. And also you can play with this trend. You can wear one really big statement earring for the strong look as well as them both. So I think it's here to stay.
Exactly, Nonita, Katerina, and Nonita, like you said, I really feel it's a response to life on Zoom. We spent a year just dressing shoulder up and waist up. Dressing took over our lives and the earring truly became the hero piece of the year. And the best thing about shoulder dusters is that it can be styled with a cozy sweatshirt to a sequin sari. There is no outfit this trend cannot be paired with.
Because we've done Zoom calls so long, I think it's not going to be about cleavage, but it's going to be about your collarbones, the clavicle. And it's such a beautiful, delicate part of a woman's body, and yet so powerful because we carry very broad shoulders on these clavicles, that I think that it's important that the focus is here for us. We're being taken seriously. This is a power statement. You're looking at us straight in the eye, admiring our jewelry. So I like that particular aspect of it as well. What do you think, Katerina?
I completely agree. I think it beautifully frames the face. Also, it makes the statement what's needed. And in case of the earrings that you've just shown, they have this beautiful life because the dangle, when you move, they move with you. So it's beautiful when you have movement in your jewelry and not just a static piece which doesn't dance with you every single move.
The second trend that we're discussing today is also actually a huge movement in jewelry right now: gender neutral jewels. This new genre of jewelry has opened its doors to a whole new style of jewelry that is gender agnostic. Think sleek minimal designs with architectural shapes, clean lines, and they're truly becoming wardrobe essentials. For example, take this lovely leather bracelet from AS Motiwala. It's sleek, it's dark brown leather, it's refined, it can be worn by a man, woman, whoever. And it has these lovely natural diamonds embedded in a rose gold circle. It's so easy to wear. I would just add it to my everyday stack. And for a man, if you want to just add it with your watch or just with your, or just wear it on its own, it's perfect. Honestly, why should borrowing from the boys be limited to just their wardrobe? And just like in fashion, where the boundaries are blurring more and more, today we see A-list celebrities and influencers like Justin Bieber, Harry Styles, and Ranveer Singh effortlessly wearing jewelry on and off the red carpet. What's cooler than a man wearing a diamond tennis necklace or a signet ring? Nonita, what is your take on this whole movement?
Priyanka, it gives me great joy that we are seeing a blurring of gender, because it implies a lot of things. So I don't like to say that men are borrowing women's jewelry. I say that we're all wearing the same pieces now. So, it allows jewelry to be more versatile, styled in different ways, and everybody gets to tell their story. And jewelry is so personal. We use it to tell our mood, our confidence, what we're feeling about our sexuality at a moment. And yes, of course, Indian men wore better jewelry than women, because you talk about the time of the Maharajas, they were the true peacocks. And I'm glad that historically Indian women then took that place away from men, because we do deserve the better pieces. But I'm actually delighted that people can enjoy jewelry. I hate, saying gender fluid or men and women. I'm just glad people can enjoy jewelry, because the ornamentation aspect, the ability to make yourself feel good is such an important role that jewelry plays. When we try on something, it's that one point where we look at ourselves. A woman trying on an earring, somebody putting on a ring, adjusting your necklace. It's such an intimate moment of how you view yourself. That sort of self-care and self-love is so private and so sensual and so special that I'm so delighted that jewelry is being shared. It'll go a longer way. I hope that it will make people buy better pieces, and I hope that people will maybe tell their stories together as well. And as someone who's obsessed with the stories behind jewelry and stones and what they stand for, this feels really special to me.
No, exactly. And Katerina, are you seeing a growing number of brands now launching more gender agnostic collections, telling the story through their brand storytelling as well now?
That's for sure, because I believe that men are not just wearing jewelry more nowadays, they're becoming more experimental with their styles. It all comes to that point that jewelry is a great way to self-express, to showcase your personality, and for men it's equally important. What do they have in terms of jewelry wardrobe? They have watch, buttons, and cufflinks. Well, now they can, as we've just talked, they can put some diamonds on, maybe a tennis bracelet like we talked about, maybe a little signet ring. It can be something more daring. wearing a big brooch, why not? I think a big role here came from, a big influence came from the red carpet, because of course women come to the red carpet decked in beautiful diamonds and in their wonderful gowns, and men have their suits, so they want also to stand out. And that's where the trend is coming, to wear brooches, to wear rings, and not just one ring, but a few rings on one hand. And men are picking up the trend and being really brave with it. And also, of course, thank you for Indian Maharajas, who I think influenced a lot this, I don't want to call it trend, but they played a great role in showcasing that a man can look good decked in splendid jewels. But nowadays, we can see that hip-hop culture has also great impact, because if you go to Hollywood, if you look at LA, how they style their jewelry, all the hip-hop stars, they wear not just one, but even few necklaces, and they don't shy away from big carat diamonds. So I think, again, this trend is just stepping in, and we'll see a lot of development within the next few years.
Priyanka, as the fashion director of Vogue, how would you think that men and women are styling it differently? Are they wearing it the same way? Are there do's and don'ts? Are there any rules? I'd love to know.
There are no rules. I truly believe there are no rules when you're styling yourself. And I think what is amazing is that jewelry now has become so easy to mix and match. Like I mentioned earlier, even if it's a man or a woman wearing a diamond tennis necklace or a signet ring, it's their way of self-expression. And I think that is so cool. We somehow put, men in this, you can only wear suits and shoes and that's it and nothing else. And they had nothing more to play with. And today, I think it's great that there is somebody wearing pearls or colored stones and natural diamonds on the red carpet or even off, It's not just to make a statement, but it's just an extension of their personality today. So I think that's amazing. And I think for women, it's so easy to mix and match. I love, what we call male jewelry, which is, usually in India, it's slightly more thicker, bolder designs maybe, but it is so easy to stack it with your, existing, maybe like I have this delicate bangle, but I could always put on a chunky bracelet like this one from A.S. Motiwala, and it would be part of my everyday stack. So I think there are no rules here, and what's amazing is that you can really play around.
Katerina, I'm going to take this word, my everyday stack, and I'm going to make it my rule for my wearing jewelry, whether it's, layering my wrists or wearing something on my neck. I like the term everyday stack for diamonds.
Also, just just to expand on the theme of men's jewelries, if we go way back to thousands of years ago, men would dress themselves with, it was jewelry of that time, little rabbit paws to showcase that they're fast, the claw of a tiger to showcase their courage. And I think it comes back in the sense that men don't just want to adorn themselves with something precious, but they also want to showcase a little bit of their style and a little bit of their character, showing that I belong to a certain luxury group of people, or I can afford this huge diamonds. We want to belong to a certain level, to have certain status, and I think jewelry really helps here.
Yeah, Nonita, I think the one item that I have seen men, women, everyone style beautifully is Hanut's dagger, this diamond dagger. I have seen men wear it with a kurta. I wear it, it's part of my everyday stack, and I wear it with everything. So I think it's amazing that there are these pieces that so easily can be borrowed and worn differently by each person.
But if you own a piece by Hanut, you don't lend it to anyone.
Never. You both buy two different daggers.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, the next trend we're discussing today is actually an all-rounder and a piece that will never fail you, the statement cuff. Look at these beautiful pieces from Varuna Dijani. They're geometric, they're cool, you can wear them as matching pairs or just add a single one to create a statement. It's kind of perfect even with just a vest and jeans or for a very special occasion. While a statement cuff has been a staple in red carpet events and traditional wedding ceremonies back here, I'm going to leave it to Katerina to tell us more about it.
I think statement cuff again is a great way to make that statement, right? Once you step out at a special event on the red carpet, it's impossible to miss that piece of jewelry which adorns your wrists as an equivalent. That's why we were just talking about stacks, but also statement cuff allows you to have that, statement look really.
I remember shooting a cover in 2008 and we were in Italy and we were putting all the cuffs on one hand and my fashion director just went, wait a minute. And he put one on this hand and one on this hand. And suddenly I went, she has power. She looks really strong. She looks really bold. And I think that from that day on for me, sort of that uniformity, but those cuffs became, very much like Wonder Woman. It felt like, other than a statement cuff, it feels like, the person, you're wearing your power in your hands, you're encapsulating it here, you're not afraid to show your hands, your wrists, you're not afraid to show what you stand for. And there's nothing more beautiful than uniformity. I think we strive for it. And statement cuffs, one on each hand, really are very powerful tools. And I think in the last couple of years, we're seeing women of great power achieve great heights and great status. And I think the first time when we started to talk about this trend, Katerina, was just when Kamala Harris had been elected as Madam Vice President, and it felt like a really big moment for young women, women of color, women from different parts of the world. It's a really big position. So I think that for me, statement cuffs are forever associated with Wonder Woman, with power, with a strong statement of style, and it's something that makes me the most happy.
Yeah, and Nonita, I agree with you. I think there's something so fierce about wearing matching cuffs, with anything. It creates such a statement and it just makes you strong and just feel strong.
I think it's important to think of cuff bracelets not just from the consumer point of view who do use it for showcasing their personal style, but also for the designer, because cuff bracelet is a great way to express creativity, it's like a canvas where you can paint with diamonds and create different ornaments and use statement gemstones or use gold to create a sculptural cuff. It can be something more gem focused. It can be real an expression of one's creativity. And I think for a designer, it's important to have that canvas to paint on.
Actually, you're right, Katerina. It feels almost like a celebration of style and strength, even for the designer, right? It's not just a statement for the person wearing it, but for the person who's designed it. I love that feeling of it's almost like intangible or tangible connection or passing of energy between two people. It feels really beautiful. I love how you put it, by the way.
You see, we talked about styling, and of course, woman needs to have that impressive piece of jewelry in her jewelry wardrobe. So for some, it would be a cocktail ring, but for others, it can be a cuff bracelet. If you put on a cuff bracelet, that's it. You don't need to put necklace or ring or maybe some small earrings to complement, but it's a great way to make a statement, as we said in the very beginning.
The next trend we are discussing today, and maybe one of my all-time favorites, is geometric lines. Geometric lines in jewelry is so iconic and timeless. I mean, you can never go wrong with it, especially when there are pieces like this piece from House of Rose. It is a multitasker, which is why I love it even more. It can be worn as a choker, or you can remove the pearl ends and wear it as a bracelet. The Art Deco style is classic, timeless, and I promise you this will last you generations. Nonita, what is your take on this?
Jewelry has drawn inspiration from architecture. Designers have traveled, they have found, lines of architecture and translated it into jewelry. You see it across countries, and it's often a signature style of a kind of country as well. And of course, I'll leave it to the expert to talk about those aspects, but I think the reason geometric jewelry has made a bit of a comeback is that I think we're looking for a sense of control in our lives. The last year felt so sort of unnerving that the harmony of symmetry is what drew us to the jewelry. You choose jewelry jewelry is like poetry, something resonates with you over something else, and this particular piece just felt like its rhythm and meter was even, and it made you feel calm, and it felt your world was in control. And that's why we saw a lot more people turning towards geometric jewelry. Of course, you can't argue the beauty of uniformity, whether you're talking about wearing two cuffs or stacking a certain way. There's a certain, uniformity makes the world seem all right, and I think we needed that. But I think I'm going to ask Katerina to take over about why geometric has always had such a strong influence on jewelry, historically actually.
I relate strongly with, for example, Art Deco era, when the strong geometric lines came to jewelry, and even some diamond cuts had to be tailored to reflect that style, like baguette cuts, for example, or different custom cut diamonds when they're actually fancy cuts. They're not even certain shapes to mimic the lines that we needed at the time. But I think it's not just the history or architecture or Art Deco, it's also the consumer love for abstract designs, because not everyone loves flowers, not everyone might love nature, but no one can say no to something which doesn't have relation to anything specific. It's abstract, it's art, it can be geometric lines, it can be geometric shapes put together in interesting combinations, and they're very easy to style, very easy to combine together. So I also look at this trend from the consumer point of view, of how easy it is for them to wear and to match with their clothes or jewelry with some other type of jewelry.
Katerina and I, we were part of this conversation, and we talked about it, and we talked about how I think jewelry now, and it's very different for Indian women. We inherit a lot of jewelry. We inherit more than we want. We put it away in lockers. Our memories of our favorite pieces of jewelry are linked with our mothers and grandmothers wearing it. So it's really special. But at no point does it feel like your story. And I think, between our mothers and grandmothers, the change was not so much, but between us and our mothers, and the change has been huge. And I think that people who have young children see it even more. Worlds have changed. And so I think that what happened is that we all started to think, what is our legacy? What is the story we're going to tell about the life we're living and the life we have lived, right? And I think that it's simplified, but it's more complex. So the modern heirloom is a piece that sort of encompasses all of that. So it could be a statement cuff, it could be shoulder duster earrings, it could be a beautiful piece of Art Deco, a bracelet. But it will be something that will be part of an everyday stack. It will be worn, it will not be put away. It will not be worn ostentatiously, it will be worn with the comfort of the way you wear a white t-shirt or your sneakers. It's going to have to be jewelry that multitasks and moves with your personality. You won't just now own a pair of earrings that these are my going out earrings, and these are the earrings I'll wear at home. This is going to be your morning to evening piece that you can sleep with and rest with, and it's going to be like second skin, or like a really dear friend, or like a comfortable pair of sneakers, or a beautiful classic handbag. The modern heirloom is a piece that you buy for yourself at that moment, that you can pass on to someone, so that a little bit of your story rubs off on it, and a little bit of gift of your wisdom is passed on to somebody else, and a whole lot of your love, because you're buying a really beautiful piece for someone who's really special to you. And I'd like to think that the modern heirloom is also not just passed between mothers and daughters, but are passed between friends and cousins and nieces and lovers and boyfriends, because I think this universe of sharing emotion has become a lot bigger.
I think, Nonita, you summed it up so well.
Yeah. No, it was beautiful. Really, it is your dear friend. And I love the fact that today, like you said, I think our older generations didn't really choose the jewelry to wear. It was an investment. But today, all of us are buying pieces that mean something to us. So to celebrate a moment, you're buying yourself something, or even initial jewelry, right? Everybody, like the signet ring, I initial my grandmother's letter on it. And it means something to me, but this is something I did for myself and not that it was passed on to me. So I love that, you're creating your own legacy with the jewelry today.
I think
Katerina, what are your views on it?
I think the key thing in this trend is emotions. It's jewelry charged with the emotions that make you happy, that remind you maybe a wonderful event of your relative, of someone close to you. So I think this is the only criteria that defines the modern heirloom, is that it has to mean something. And jewelry is more meaningful than ever, because nowadays, as we just talked, it's not just investment, it's not just the status symbol. It's a lot about your personality. It's a lot about wearing jewelry as a reminder of certain events in your life. So whether it is a gift from your friend or from your mother, maybe you bought it for yourself because you had, I don't know, job promotion. It's a great way to celebrate life.
You know, I wish I'd bought myself a ring for every time I broke off with a boy. I think we should buy jewelry to celebrate a broken heart, because you know you have to kiss a lot of frogs. But Katerina, I love the way you speak. I love that you said it's sort of all about emotion. It makes you stop and think about every piece you own. And funnily enough, it really makes me want to make a list of why I would go out and buy a piece of jewelry, but I'm persuaded that I need to do it this month.
Yay! Jewelry shopping!
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope you all thoroughly enjoyed this session. Stay tuned for more on the Diamond Festival on all of Vogue India's social media platforms.